Hi, my name's Hannah, and here on my channel I love to share my obsession for makeup. I like to share with you product news, tips, offers, looks, tutorials, everything really. I'm not a professional, but I'm just somebody who loves makeup and loves how much it makes me happy, and hopefully you too. So if that's something you'd enjoy, please like and subscribe below because that really helps me to keep going. I'm quite new here, and let's get on with the video. So today is the 5th of December and I have just opened over the last 5 days my PLOUISE Advent Calendar. As you can see behind, the most stunning Advent calendar I've ever seen in my whole life. And I wanted to try a look today with some of the products from the first 5 days. So I will be trying the eyeshadow palette, Sprinkle of Wishes. These are the shades inside. And I'll be trying this blush palette called It's the Icing on the Top. Look how generous this is in an advent calendar, it's just incredible, isn't it? And I will be trying the liquid highlighter Dream Droplets. Pot of Gold is the shade. And in those first 5 days, it also came with a second blush palette, the same size as this, and a second eyeshadow palette, the same size as this, but I'm not trying those today. And this wasn't in my advent calendar, but I am subscribed to the PLOUISE budget box, and this came in last month's budget box, and this is a whole box full of their brushes. So I have never tried PLOUISE brushes. I'm quite new to the PLOUISE brand in general. So these are the brushes I've selected from the collection that I'm going to try and use today and see how I get on with them. So I'm going to start by using this F37 brush. I'm going to use this as my blender, and this is the colour I'm going to start with. How cute are these little gingerbread men before I probably wipe them all away. And this shade is called Bite Spark. Just tap it off, quite a bit of powder coming off, so worth keeping in mind if you've got this. And then just go in, probably is too big to use in the eyes to be fair. This brush is too soft and not densely packed enough to use for this purpose, really. But anyway, it is working. It's blending nicely, this colour. This works well as a transition colour, I think. I've already got my eyes prepped using my Gerard Cosmetics primer. I don't have any PLOUISE products for priming at the moment. Like I said, I'm very new to the brand, so I don't have many products at the moment. I'm building a collection. Obviously this humongous advent calendar here is going to help me build a collection quite quickly. I'm really excited to try them all. I've had 2 budget boxes so far from PLOUISE and I have really enjoyed them. If you're interested in seeing any content from those, I have done unboxing short videos over the last 2 months, and I did do an eye look with one of the palettes that came in the last budget box, and that was probably one of my favourite eye looks I've done in a long time. Really pretty. I'm very impressed with the quality of the shadows when you consider the price. And in the budget box I think I paid £30, and so much comes with it. It's really impressive, to be honest. And by the way, I'm not sponsored to say a word of this, so I'm not pushing the product on you or telling you this because I've been sponsored. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. Even though if I was sponsored, I would also be giving you an honest opinion, because this is really important to me to only ever tell you what I really feel. But anyway, so that powder has gone on nicely. Again, I don't think I've used the right brush, but because it says F on it, I'm guessing that means face, because the other brushes have an E in front, and I'm guessing that must mean eye, logically. I'm sure there's plenty of PLOUISE fans who know these things, but I'm afraid I don't at the moment. This brush is E23, so this should be an eye brush, and I'm going to use this with the same colour to just go underneath here. Yeah, that brush is much more densely packed and works very well as a pencil brush. And this brush is number E26. You can see the shape on it here. Now this is the sort of shape I love to use for building colour in the outer V. I've got a hooded eye and quite a tight area here, so I find this sort of shape perfect for doing that. So I'm going to try this brush now for the first time, and I'm going into Slice of Heaven, this one here. A lot came off the brush then, if you saw that on camera. Definitely need to tap these off. Once they're on, they're not falling Down the face, there's no fallout as long as you tap off. Well, that's a nice colour, isn't it? And this brush is working very well. And the eyeshadow is showing no signs of patchiness whatsoever, and it's blending in so easily, isn't it? And these palettes are very good for everyday looks, I think, or very easy looks. You can see here that just putting these two together, very little work involved. Again, PLOUISE is impressing me. I'd love to hear from anyone watching this, if you're a PLOUISE fan, if you've got any favourite products, if you've got the budget box and what you're enjoying. That's really nice, I love that colour. I love it this time of year wearing these sort of warm orangey browns. I'm using the E23 again to go under the eye. Not the whole way this time, just make it so it's cohesive with above. Just take it up so it matches there. A bit wide for that. Oh, I haven't done this side, have I? And I've started doing it under here. Oh well. Just go with it. I'll just do this eye here and speed it up for you. So now I'm going to use the E22, which is probably the one I should have used at the beginning, to just blend out all the edges. Obviously there's no shadow on there. I'm just going to use this to blend out and blur out the edges, and it's working very well for that. This is definitely better than the first one I tried. So if you have these brushes, this is the one I would recommend to use for transition and blending. So now I'm going to go in with a shimmer shade across the whole of the lid, and I've chosen two different brushes that I think might work for this. This one is a bit more densely packed and this one's a bit more soft and slightly bigger. I'm going to start with this and see how I get on, maybe switch to the other one. And this one is number E30. So going into the shimmer shade, which is called Sweet Affection. Taking it on the brush, tapping off. It's not actually coming off like the powders did, so maybe it doesn't need tapping off. Let's see how it goes. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, that brush works quite well actually. It's picked up the product and it's spreading it out very nicely. Oh, that's really pretty. I like that a lot. No fallout down my face at all. So this is quite a safe eyeshadow palette to use if you've got a full face of makeup on. You don't need to do your eyes first using these at all, which is great. I was going to say I'll try with my finger, but I don't think it needs it really. But anyway, just to show you, I'll do a little bit more with my finger. Oh yeah, that did make a difference, didn't it? It did look really good without that, but it has given it definitely more shine applying it like that. It does make a difference. Generally using a finger when you apply these shimmers, or all shimmers, looks more metallic and shiny than it did before. So if you want a more subtle look, the brush is perfect, and if you want this sort of wow look, then finger is definitely the way to go. Go back in with that brush I used for blending. I'll just do the other eye quickly. And now this brush is the E32. This is a slightly fluffier pencil type brush. I'm going to go into Magical Beginnings, which is the lightest shade. This isn't a shimmer, it's a matte, but I'm going to use this to try and get a pop of colour here in the inner corner. Can't see much actually, to be honest. It's not giving me enough of a pop on the inner corner. I would have preferred that to have been lighter if I'm honest. So that's the only thing I'd say is a bit disappointing about this palette, because I would like to have a little bit of contrast in the inner corner and just coming across here. I started smelling gingerbread then and thought I was going mad, thinking, does this actually smell of gingerbread? And then I remembered I'm burning candles that have gingerbread smell behind me, so that's why. Not that you needed to know that. Anyway, I'm going to try and get a pop of colour using a highlighter. This isn't P. Louise, I haven't got a P. Louise highlighter yet. This is one of my Pat McGrath highlighters, and I think this might give me the little bit of brightness I needed in the inner corner. Yeah, that's better. Look, that's what I was looking for really. And to take it across here. I would have preferred the lighter shade in this palette to have been a shimmer like this, a highlighting type of shimmer. Anyway, the other three colours I really liked. This brush is working very well for doing this job. So far all the brushes worked well, so quite pleased with the brushes. So I'm going to go in now with an eyeliner, and I don't have a P. Louise one. These days I do prefer to use an eyeshadow as my eyeliner, so I need a darker shade. So I'm going to go into this Busy Art palette, which I use all the time. It's one of my go-tos. This is the Petite Matte Neutral, and I always use this black shade here. This is the E33. It's got a spoolie on the end. Possibly intended for eyebrows, but I'm going to be using it to tightline my eyes. It looks like the right sort of shape. Let's have a look. Yep, that works very well. I find that using a powder to line like this is a lot neater for getting into the eyelashes and giving you that tight line than using a pen these days. Eyeliner pen. And then do the same underneath. Yeah, this brush seems to be perfect for this job. And this brush is the E29, and I'm going to try this one for just softening that out a little bit, and I think that works quite well. Quite a tightly packed brush. It's quite good for getting into these areas. Certainly the eyeliner brush I just used, whether it's for the eyebrows or not, work brilliantly for doing a little wing. Obviously you could do a much bigger wing with it too, but this is my wing. This is the only wing I like to do, to be fair. And I'm going to use this exact same brush to go back into the shimmer shade and pop that underneath. Yeah, this brush works for this. And just go back into that highlighter that I used just to match up here a little bit more. I'm going to go back in with a bit of this highlighter on my finger just to take a little bit more across the eye there. There. That's more like the amount I wanted. I'll just go off camera quickly to do my mascara. So that's mascara on and the eye look finished. Quite happy with this. What do you think? And now I'm going to go in with a blush. So somehow I have to choose one of these. Or can I use two? And this brush is the F31. I'm going to try this one. This is probably the widest face brush. Let's see how I get on with blush. It might be a bit too wide for me, but I'll see. I think I'm going to start with this blush. I say start because I think I might go with that and then put a little bit of the lighter one on top a bit. I'll see how this looks first. I'll tap off. Nothing coming off, nothing much on the brush either, so maybe it's not going to be, yeah. This is not a dangerous blush where you end up looking ridiculous with one swipe, which is good for me. I'd rather build it up, always prefer to do that. I think this brush works quite well actually, nice and soft, right shape. You can see there it fits that area quite well, so yeah, it works well for a blush. This colour's going on nicely and it's not that dark. Probably could have gone a bit darker since I'm wearing dark shades. I'm wondering whether to go in with a darker shade on top. I don't know. What do I do? Should I just try a tiny darker bit just because I'm curious? Oh, frog in my throat. So I'm going to try the darkest one. Just going to do a little bit here. Oh, they're not very dark. So this is not a very scary blush palette, to be fair. That's quite pretty, that. So that's the darkest in the whole palette. Yeah, one swipe of that is not too scary. That's given me quite a lot more colour, hasn't it? Maybe I don't need to try the lighter ones now. Maybe the lighter ones are just more suited to the summer. As soon as my eyes are quite deep orange and my lips are deep red, I think I need a bit more of a powerful blush today. Oh, I like that. This is the F32 brush, which is like a buffer brush. So I'm going to just use this to buff around the edges. See how that works. Just to make it look a bit less like I have sharp lines of the blush. Very, very dense, this brush, maybe a little bit too dense. It might be picking up my foundation a bit. Anyway, I'm not sure about using that brush to do that, but maybe better for foundation, this one. It sort of did the job, didn't it? Okay, so the last product I've got now is the highlight, as we saw at the beginning. This is called the Pot of Gold. If I can open it, it's brand new, so I've not tested this. I'll just put some on my hand, I think. You can see it. That is very runny. I think I might try this brush. This is the F33. So I think what I'll do is I'll stamp the highlighter into my hand because I don't want to put a big burst of it on my face. Gosh, I've got loads on my hand there, look. Anyway. And then I'm going to put some here. Oh wow, that is very glittery. How am I going to deal with that now? Whoa. That really is a pot of gold on my face. I think back in with a buffer brush, hoping that'll save me a bit here. I mean, it's nice, but it's... Whoa. It's too much for me, if I'm honest. This might be something you love, but this is just not great for me. I think it's too deep. I use, for my skin colour, I use a lighter highlighter. This is too gold for me. It's pretty. I don't know, what do you think? Pretty, but probably not one for me, I don't think. Obviously, if you're creating a Christmas party look, I'll use the same brush just so I can do the same on both sides, but I don't think I would use this brush to apply it again. It's applied too much product and it's applied to too much of the face. I think I should have gone in with this smaller brush, but I am testing these out for the first time so we can see together how they are. So it's all trial and error, and then I'll go in with the buffer brush to try and fix it in the same way. I do look a little bit like someone's thrown a glitter bomb on me. It's too much for me, I'm afraid. I don't think it's emphasising lines though, or pores, which is good. This might look nice on the eyes though. I'll put a little bit on my hand again. I'll try it on the eyes and just see what happens. I'll try this brush. Oh yeah, that works on the eyes, you know. Maybe I didn't need to use that highlighter then. Maybe that was the solution to this eyeshadow palette. Get your pop of colour and shimmer using the highlighter. I'll put a little bit on this side. I really like that on the eyes, you know. So there we go. So I didn't need to use my powder highlight after all. There we are. If you're watching this, you don't need to make that mistake. If you like this sort of look anyway, because the liquid highlighter works really well on the eyes. I've got a lipstick on, but just wondering, will it show up on the lips? This is really a Christmassy vibe now. That is so good on the lips, look. I hope the camera's catching that. When you turn in the light, you really see the gold. So this highlighter is no good for my face, but it's great for lips and eyes. There we go. Who would have thought that? So there we go, that's my full face done. And just like with every experience I've had so far with PLOUISE, I'm really impressed. The eyeshadows were very easy to apply, they blended brilliantly, there was no fallout, no patchiness. The highlighter, as we've established, does not suit my skin. Very powerful glittery effect. Works really well on top of lipstick, I think anyway. Don't know what you think, but I think it's really nice. And I love it on the eyes. So that was a big hit too, for the wrong reasons maybe, but it was a big hit. Before I go, I'll show you the other two that came with the calendar. So this was the other eyeshadow palette called Magical Memories, and this is the colours that came inside. These are just basically deeper versions of the one I've just tried. But because I'm fair skinned, I prefer the other one. This shimmer looks really pretty. I'll just show you on my hand. Wow. And then the other palette that came was a second blush palette. This is a lot lighter. I'd say these are all sort of summery shades. I'll just show you what these two blushes look like if you're interested. I've still got that eyeshadow on my hand there. But anyway, that's the one blush. See how orange that is? And that's the other one. So yeah, I think they're just more suited to me in the summer. Anyway, that's me done using my new products from my PLOUISE beautiful advent calendar. Sorry, my lights have gone off either side, so it's all gone a bit dark down there. Anyway, I will wrap this up before I ramble on any further, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if this is something you enjoy, please like and subscribe below. It really does help me to keep going, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye!